And we had number 20 LSU going on the road at number 10 Vanderbilt. Now, this was another huge surprise. Vanderbilt was ranked all the way down at 17, which we've said on the show was way too low. I don't get why we were downplaying Vanderbilt so much. And while I'm very happy that they were able to pull this one off 31-24 at home, it's just really the significance of this is because they were ranked and LSU was number 10 and they beat them, and now they're in the top 10 in the AP poll since 1947, I believe, where it's like I thought Vanderbilt was the better team, right? It's not really about that. It's about the significance of it's Vanderbilt. I think that's why this season is so interesting, and as we mentioned, there's a lot of parity where you have known bottom feeders kind of in Vanderbilt and Indiana, and then you could even say Mississippi State that are usually down bad and usually get blown out by their conference opponents that are really respectable this season, which is why this is so crazy. So Vanderbilt ends up taking one 31-24 at home against LSU, Jack.
This was a crazy game. 100%. I think one of the best of the weekend. Just a great noon game. Vanderbilt played an absolutely stunning game. Their offense was just on fire, and they really just would not let up on LSU's defense. LSU's defense going into this was their only strength compared to their offense this year, but they really couldn't stop them until the fourth quarter where they kind of traded possessions there. But man, Pavia was so good in this game and just would not let up. LSU's offense really continued to struggle here. That was going into this game was a big question. Could they get something going? But they really couldn't. Their only spark really was that 82-yard drive where they got that 62-yard touchdown to bring it back to a one-score game. But Vandy was about to go 3 and out, and then they went for it on fourth down. And that fourth down conversion was so crazy. One of the craziest plays this year, where he spun out of a sack and then threw the check down on the left side of the field. It was just insane. I can't believe he makes plays like. I know Raiola gets compared to Patrick Mahomes a lot, but Pavia plays a lot like Menzel Mahomes hybrid. It's crazy. So I think he's absolutely in that Heisman conversation again. The only weakness to his game would be those red zone turnovers in the Alabama game. That was really the only flaw in this Vanderbilt team. And if they clean those up, this is easily an undefeated team. And I think a top 5 team probably if they just don't commit those turnovers. So that's how good this team is and just how amazing this team is. And we've quite literally never seen this from Bama. You just mentioned first time being in the top 10 since 47.
Crazy.
Insane. And first time being 6-1 since 1950. And first time beating LSU since 1990. So it's been over 35 years now.
It was their first time being and it was their first time being favored against a team in the top 10 in a long time.
That's why I think this game was so significant just for for Vanderbilt as just a franchise, as a team, because this just never happens for them. They're always, like you said, a bottom feeder in the SEC. This is very special, and the way they've done this rebuild and brought in all these people is just great. Great offensive line and just amazing weapons. Very impressive win, and I'm still saying they're too low because I feel like they put him number 10, but they're barely put him in there. They could easily be higher than some of the teams in there. And I think this is,
Right, because if LSU had won this, where they would be pretty far up there. And you just think about Vanderbilt has a better loss too, because you look at where Alabama is and Ole Miss just lost. So it's Vanderbilt, I think, doesn't get enough credit when they do things like this. Like when they they absolutely housed South Carolina. I think that's what's not really talked about is South Carolina was ranked 11th and they dominated them in South Carolina's building. I think that was the hugest part of that win. And I don't feel like they ever got the proper respect from that. And in, the AP voters were just kind of waiting for them to slip up and they weren't giving them the proper respect. And they're like, oh, they lost to Bama. See, we knew they weren't that type of team. We knew they weren't that good. But Vanderbilt proved that they are. I think Alabama's just kind of in a league of their own, honestly. And had they not lost to Florida State in that game that really looks awkward now, which we'll get into, but it's like Vanderbilt's really good. Like their one loss is for sure the hottest team. I mean, they just beat 4 ranked teams in a row. You're telling me they're not the hottest team in the league. Alabama's really good, but it really reflects how good Vanderbilt is. Because Vanderbilt, as you said, had those mistakes where it's like if they clean those up, they would have certainly had a chance. And they certainly cleaned those up today when they were able to take out LSU in a very impressive performance at home.